Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, they're breaking the mold. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. There's Ken, looking like Adam Schefter on the phone there, checking on updates. There's Joe, who's got to be like going, what the hell? Look, we're going to get right into it. The NFL has become drama central. So in case you sleep under a rock, in case you don't listen to ESPN or NFL Network or Shefty or any of the others, yeah, so the Ravens last night, the 9th hour or the 11th hour, decide they're going to cancel the Max Crosby trade. So what does this mean? Well, we're not going to take Max Crosby because he failed his physical after not passing, the test after having MCL surgery, 2 months ago, a condition we all knew he had when he was traded. We're going to say we don't want him because he's not game ready today. But hey, we're going to sign Trey Hendrickson for 4 years, $120 million instead. Meanwhile, the Raiders are like, that's fine. Hold our beer. We still got $25 million in cap space left, even with Max coming back. And we took your center from you. So suck it, Baltimore. The rest of the league is going, Max Crosby's available. We already know about the knee. Maybe we can get him cheaper now. Woo! Is that about sum it up, boys?
You're pretty well.
You're missing the thing that the Ravens are a bunch of dirty sons of bitches fucking pulling it off and saying, oh, well, it was a failed physical. That wasn't a failed physical. That was straight up buyer's remorse. You found out that Hendrickson wasn't signing anywhere else either.
Right.
So it was, hey, I can get a pass rusher somewhere around the same guy without giving any draft picks. Oh, man, this guy just failed his physical. That's just too terrible. Bull fucking
they were throwing the collusion word out there. So that's the thing. Like, did they just all of a sudden raise their standards of the physical, like damn well knowing about the condition going into it, or because like Henderson's agent was whispering in there, hey, he wants to play for Baltimore. Baltimore.
So check this out. If I'm going to be the Joe and the Raiders, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, hey, NFL, I want an independent doctor to come look at the medical records, and here's what we sent them before the trade. Here's what we disclosed, and you tell us. And when the NFL independent doctor comes back and says, you know what, there was no reason to cancel the trade based on the knowledge known before the trade, guess what's going to happen? Pick number 15, you now belong to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Holy fuck. Hold on. If that happens and they do get awarded the first round pick with it, don't forget there is major talk going on right now that the Cowboys are still heavily invested in getting him, and they already offered a first and a second before. They might still keep that or just give the first. And even if it's just that, and they get awarded the Raven shit, they'd have 3 fucking first round picks.
I mean, because look, the NFL's got to do something. They're already getting pissed all over for the non-compensation picks of the Bears for Ian Cunningham being hired away to be the GM, which the Bears followed the rules, the Falcons followed the rules, the NFL said the rules no longer exist. Now you've got this. We're at the 11th hour before the new year starts. Think about it. Had the Raiders not had enough money in cap, think of the deals that might have had to be undone. Think about all the other things that the Ravens did at the 11th hour and then go, oh, by the way, now that we're sending Max back, we're going to assign this other edge rusher for this gobs of money after we redo this contract for Lamar Jackson. Dude, it screams shadiness all over it. and the NFL has to take action.
Absolutely, Ken. Because I wouldn't even have bitched if they ended up working out a deal with Trey Hendrickson and all that in the next couple of days. That this happened. What was it? Roughly 12 hours after. Come on,
12 hours. Yeah, I mean
that shit was already fucking worked through and all that. You got to be shitting me.
You can't. You're not going to convince me that this wasn't the Ravens' plan the whole time to keep the Ravens decided we're going to get a pass rusher one way or the other. So we'll make this trade. And then if, they probably expected Trey Hendrickson's market to be a little bit more hot than it is. And the fact that his market is not as hot as they thought it would be, they're like, well, shit, we can get Trey Hendrickson without having to give up any picks, or we can give up 2 first-rounders for Max. And we just lost half our starting defense in free agency, plus our Isaiah Likely, plus half our team just walked. So if realistically, if we keep Max, yeah, we got Max, but now we're just treading water with all the players we lost. So it makes a lot more sense to keep those first round picks than it does to lose the first round picks and tread water. And that's fine. Like, the Ravens are hoes. Like, just say you're hoes. But the level of PR spin that the Ravens have been trying to put out there the last 12 hours, like, oh no, like the Ravens have a reputable front office and they wouldn't do something shady like this. And it's not shady. They found something in the medicals. Like,
oh no, it's shady as fuck.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, like, NFL GMs are not buying it because, like, Diana Rossini, for example, she's just one of the many reporters that are reporting on this, has said, like, everyone, like the consensus around the league is this is bullshit.
Yeah, there were GMs who were anonymous GMs who were quoted as saying this is complete and utter bullshit. And look, Fred makes the point. Let me say it again because I said it last night on Roundtable. Look, it's a tampering period. Nothing's official. However, very rarely do we ever see teams or players pull out of these verbal agreements that are made. And this one smells like
the only one I can compare.
Bottom. And by the way, and let me give Dorn, I'm sorry, Ken, let me give Dorn some credit. Dorn is correct. The Ravens did this exact same thing in 2018. So you have precedence of this organization being shady like this in the past. Go ahead, Kevin.
Now, once I get done with this statement here, you'll have to remind me of what the Ravens did in 2018. But I was about to say the only one that I could think of is the Terrell Owens and 49ers one there, that it fell apart because of paperwork. I can't think of one that fell apart because of supposedly the failed physical like that.
No. So look, there's another precedent. And you know what? I'm an honest guy, so I'm going to put it out there, even though most of you guys probably won't even remember it until I bring it up. The Raiders did something similar to this to Roger Saffold, the lineman for the Rams, when Reggie McKenzie was GM. It was different because it wasn't a trade. It was a free agent deal. They paid him. It was like a $60 million deal for 3 years, and everybody was clowning him like, dude, you could have got him for half that. And so the Raiders got cold feet at the last minute, like buyer's remorse, and he, quote unquote, failed his physical, and they canceled the deal. Then Saffold went and got signed by somebody else the next day or that day and passed his physical. So there is precedent. The thing is, this was a trade. This wasn't like backing out of a free agent deal is already kind of shady, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'll be the first to say it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of shady, but a trade, like, in my opinion, I think the NFL should make a rule going forward that you can back out of the trade, but it's going to cost you 50% of what you proposed.
Junior, the Raiders are not in cap hell. They still, you ready for this one? Even with Max Crosby coming back into the fold,
they still have cap space.
Million.
Still got cap space. And we got $85 million for next year too, baby. Oh, yeah. You hate that we're rich, don't you? You hate it.
So look, I'm going to play a few guys really quick. The career highlights of Frank Gore in Philadelphia and Max Crosby in Baltimore. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, this to me is just so off-putting from a fan's perspective of not even of a fan of either team. that you're going to sit there and just pull the rug out at the last second? Because there were talks around the league that the Ravens had overpaid to get Max a bit. And that buyer's remorse is a real fucking thing, apparently.
It goes deeper, though, Ken, right? Because look at this happens before the tampering period. This affected several teams' free agency clipboard, if you will, and draft board. This affected what a lot of teams did the last couple days. And then at the 11th hour, Baltimore says, yeah, you know what? Fuck that, the rest of the league. We're just gonna cancel this and go sign Trey. I mean, you want to talk about a team that's going to be the most hated team in the NFL this year, dude? Look at, Kansas City's like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it affects the Raiders too. They wouldn't have signed that outside linebacker Kwity Paye if they didn't lose Crosby.
Probably not.
But they'll still, I think they'll still keep him because now, see, and here's the thing. Like, I would be a lot more pissed off if this affected the Raiders in, like, if it fucked our cap or something like that. But the Raiders have the money to absorb Max again. So I'm looking at it like, welcome back, Max. Hey, meet your new linebackers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, they could have a stacked linebacker room. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking those linebackers behind Max. Holy shit!
That's what I'm saying. So, do you think this changes how Max feels? Like,
so a couple quick hits here. Let me get through that because this is a good point. But let's get through this other stuff real quick first. The plan, we've heard the rule. Maybe the plan they can't afford Linderbaum and Max. No, they obviously can because they still have $25-30 million in cap space left, even after bringing Max back in the fold, right? So they're just being some master plan to get Linderbaum to come back. Was never going to happen because the Raiders had the money regardless. Now maybe the Ravens hope that the Raiders spent all their money and would have to, renege on some deals of their own. That obviously didn't happen. Okay. The other thing, Met and Lions fans have been especially bad at this. Last night, Lions fans were all over the show last night going, Max can't go back. He burned so many bridges when he left. He went full Devontae Adams when he left. No, he didn't. He said everything you should say as a player leaving, thanking the organization. I'm always going to love the Raiders, blah, blah, blah. For him to come back, it's like, hey, now we know your value. We know your worth. Cool. Come on back. Let's get healthy. Let's go. Because now, like Broski and Ken just said, we've now put up some linebackers behind you. We got you a partner on the edge. And if Kuntz isn't healthy, we got this other guy who was going to be your replacement. Now we can rotate him and Kuntz. So the injury issue on the other edge is not going to be bad. Oh, by the way, we got you some DB help too. So your defense is stacked.
Now, what was Max's major fucking gripe about staying with the Raiders? He didn't want to be a part of another rebuild. Well, this bitch already looks mostly rebuilt already right now. And you're going to tell him we're going to go out and we're going to draft Mendoza there with the number 1 overall pick. We got ourselves a real team. I don't think Max would want to leave. Now, on the other hand, though, I can still want to see trading him for a first round if you can get a first out of him.
Oh, Mitch, I'm not talking about you specifically. I said Lions fans in general. I didn't say Motown Mitch said. I mean, I'm going to call you out if you said it.
I was going to say, Mitch, we're all way too familiar with each other not to sit here and talk shit to us.
Yeah, here's the thing with that, right?
And they got, hold on a second. As far as not being part of a rebuild, you got the best center in football. You're going to have the number 1 pick overall, which is going to be the quarterback. Didn't you pick up a receiver, Joe? I think you did. Your receiving core look better. You already got a gold jacket at tight end, according to Joe. You've got a
no. According to everybody, he is the best tight end that ever existed.
You've got a running back with upside, even though Broski and I didn't want him on the Bears, and I still stand by that. And you got $25 million to go get more offensive line help. That's not Larry Borum, and you know what I'm saying. And you got the draft. And after the NFL looks at this shady shit, I would just laugh my ass off if you end up with the number 15 pick in compensation.
The only reason that the Raiders really have to be pissed is like the Ravens, by claiming that this is a medical issue, they've essentially tanked Max Crosby's trade value. So now if we go to try to trade him on the open market again, number 1, teams have already spent their money. So a lot of teams that were in are out. Number 2, Yeah, number two, like now, no, there's no way we're going to get what we got from the Ravens. So
Not necessarily.
at this point, like I'm telling Max, look, dude, maybe next year, like we tried to do right by you. The Ravens fucked you over. And, it doesn't make sense for us to trade you for a bag of Cheetos and let you go ball somewhere else. Like, looks like, welcome back, buddy. Enjoy being a Raider for another year.
Hey, Mitch, he's better than the center you've got in Detroit. But yes, he was the best free agent center. I thought, I guess we need to make it Barney style for you when we talk about these things.
I was going to say he would be the best center in the North.
I do not think this diminishes this trade value. I think everyone in the league knows it's bullshit. The Raiders aren't going to let him go for less than 2 firsts still. I don't think it diminishes his value at all because everyone's calling bullshit on this. And if the NFL calls bullshit on it, it gives the Raiders the pick. You know what it does do? Now the Raiders can go, we got the 15. Now maybe we can go for a first and second because, now we're getting 2 firsts and a second. So actually the Raiders should come out way ahead if that were to happen. But it actually now says, hey, since you only want to give a first and a second, well, consider we're getting Baltimore's first round pick. Enjoy destroying them every year, twice a year. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, pettiness goes both ways, man. And I can see the Raiders being petty and giving someone in their division a sweetheart deal, especially if the NFL awards them that pick.
I can tell you, if I'm the Raiders, I call up Cincinnati right now and say, hey, would you like a Max Crosby for a single first round pick? And that's it. Now I'd want to stick it up their ass too.
And look at Bears fans before you even start, because yes, they started last night. I was like, no guys, look, even if we restructured 5 contracts, we probably don't have the cap room now, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you, Dorn. But Bears fans look at it, and then someone exploited, well, we could trade Dio as part of a package. The Raiders don't want Dio, okay? And the Bears don't have enough, and you'd have to trade Dio probably to open up the cap space to support Max. Because he's like $20 million against the cap. Max is 30. So, okay, fine. But you guess what? They're not taking Dio. You need to find someone else to take Dio for draft picks or something. Maybe you get Dio for a 5th rounder and hope that they take all his contract and you don't pay any of it. Then maybe you can make a trade for Max. But no, Bears fans, it's not happening. Now, Goff just restructured his contract this morning in Detroit. So now Lions fans go, oh, but we've got the money. But yeah, you're not going to do it either because, well, the Lions don't do that stuff. So
wait, hold on. I hate to give Lions some credit here, but Max Crosby, this trade failed because of his knee. What do we constantly say about Brad Holmes? He has a fetish for injured fucking players. I'm telling you, as soon as he heard he failed that physical, fucking Brad Holmes won't need Viagra for 6 fucking months.
Dude, Lions threw their hat in the ring on this one now.
The Lions might give us 3 first-round picks.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, the Lions need to because the Lions, and I'm sorry, Ken, the Packers have both been hemorrhaging players at a rate greater than what they're replacing them. And the Packers really have hemorrhaged some players. And looking into the season, now this is pre-draft, and there's still a lot of time left, but just going off of free agent frenzy, you're looking at the Packers and Lions going, these are 2 9-win teams that might not look like 9-win teams. And now look, they got to do the draft, so that's going to change things, change them around a little bit. Packers lost a lot. Lions, dude, that offensive line is not that good right now. So I don't know what adding Max Crosby does to an anemic front, offensive line.
The move that I think we're going to feel the most from the Packers is Quay Walker. Him not being there.
You're going to miss Dobbs.
I don't know if we're missing Dobbs.
Big play, you went to Dobbs. Anytime there was a big
and he also dropped.
Bears fan going, okay, it's 3rd and long. Just don't let Dobbs get it. Hey, Dobbs for 18 yards. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, but also in those important situations, he dropped the ball a lot. I want to see now what we have with these young guys. Golden, you put a 1st-round pick in. This seems like the perfect thing for him.
You're hoping that, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, Golden isn't proven. Dobbs was proven. Look, they're going to miss Dobbs. Probably Golden, even if he comes up, they're going to miss Dobbs a little bit. He's a different type of receiver. But like, I'm just looking at the Packers and Lions and what they lost versus what they brought back in. The draft is going to change those two teams' fortunes a little bit, right? And there's some method to that madness. But just on face value, you're looking at them going, especially the Packers lost, like, it's like, wow. Like, just wow.
Well,
You know, in the draft, and look at the Packers, they at least have a track record of drafting pretty decently to fill those voids. The Lions,
And then
Yeah, to me, the Lions, that's the real surprise. Because, I mean, they only won 9 games, and they think doing nothing in the offseason is going to help them, like, improve this year.
well,
I mean,
Larry Borum, and
Hey.
some Lions fans are going, "Oh my God, we got Larry Borum. Our offensive line is great."
hey, Ken, you know what I've been telling Lions fans lately? I've been telling them, like, their defense has more holes in it than the Iranian Navy right now. Like Ken, I'm not even kidding. Like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, like, they might not be Lions after this season, and neither one looks like they're going to be ready to start the season.
I've been telling Lions fans by week 5 or 6, you're going to want Larry Borum off your team.
Yeah, I mean, is Enos Rakestraw going to step in for Amik Robertson?
He made the Pro Bowl. He's so versatile. Yeah, okay, the Bears could not wait to get rid of him. The Dolphins, who had one of the worst offensive lines in the league, didn't even want to offer him a penny. And you think he's really good?
Yeah, we all know Larry Borum's not good.
Broski, I'm with you up until we will not have any Amik Robertson slander. All right, that dude is a dog.
I'm not. I'm slandering Enos Rakestraw. I'm saying Enos Rakestraw is in no way, shape, or form a good replacement for Amik Robertson, who's actually a respectable player. But look at their linebackers. They have Jack Campbell. They think Rodrigo and Barnes are good linebackers. The guy who got stiff armed by Jameis Winston on a touchdown pass. Like, those guys are terrible linebackers.
And look, for as much trash as they talked about Anzalone, he was a big part of that defense.
Yeah.
Did Amik leave the Lions? Is that why they're replacing him?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I like Amik, dude.
Real winners and losers of the Ravens being pussy.
Well, the Raiders lose out because I like the word around the NFL is that this is tanked Max's trade value. Like that their Raiders aren't going to get anywhere near what they got from the Ravens for him. That's what's going around right now. I'm not saying it's fact, but the Raiders lose out on that part of it. But if they keep Max, they lose nothing, in my opinion. Like, unless Max is going to be a crybaby about it. Like,
I think the biggest losers are the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Because now they got to face this Raiders defense, which we're all going, they were going to be improved without Max. We saw this like addition by subtraction kind of thing actually working in a sense. We got rid of Max, freed up space, brought in all these guys, right? And now they bring in Max back because Baltimore pulls this shadiness. Now you're going, holy crap. The Vegas Raiders have a defense. Now it's just like if their offense can be decent, woo,
they got a jump start to the rebuild, man. They got a jump start. And I just want to say, wasn't Lamar Jackson injured last year for a good chunk of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, but his backup is like, but look at Lamar thing is this. Lamar's backup is such that they're 1A and 1B, and that the fall off between 1A and 1B is not much. They've got the right backup in Baltimore. And they just re-signed him for 2 more years. And look at it. There are very few combos where you can say the backup and the starter, the drop off. In this case, because when he goes elsewhere, he's not as good. But when he's in Baltimore, he's a baller.
I'll give it to you. He makes that offense hum there, but I still think there's a decent fucking drop off between Lamar Jackson and him.
So I wasn't going to do this.
See it, though. Not for the Ravens.
I swore after the Tucker Kraft thing I wasn't going to do this anymore. But I'd really like to see how Lamar Jackson responds to the adversity of being injured 2 years in a row. And now it's out there in the universe. So
Now, Joe, Joe, if somebody in my fucking division talks shit about your tight end, you better use that again. Because your whole thing is I can't use this power like this. It's doing all this. Well, now you just used it. So now you have no excuses not to use it on my rival.
What if Gold Jacket has another injury? How is he going to react? Yeah.
Well, Ken, you don't have the power though.
I think he's tempting you there, Joe.
No, I mean, look,
yeah.
it's a fair point, though. I mean, but Lamar, at least with Lamar, Huntley's a good enough. For whatever reason, Huntley, when he left Baltimore, wasn't that good. In Baltimore, though, Huntley's like Lamar 2.0. I mean, it just the offense fits him. He fits the offense. It's just one of those rare, lightning strikes kind of thing. It works for them for all those guys. So if Lamar is out, yeah, there's a drop off, but they don't have to change the playbook. They don't have to change their identity. There's no identity change in Baltimore between the two quarterbacks. And Lamar, and look at Huntley can still put the ball in places Lamar. In fact, he does a couple things better than Lamar, throwing wise. He doesn't maybe have the length that he can't go maybe as deep as Lamar, but he can thread the needle sometimes better than Lamar. So I mean, like I said, that combo there for whatever reason defies science and just works, right? It just works. So, I mean, you can't. It's hard to throw shade on the Ravens with their backup quarterback situation, but you can throw shade on them for the way they do business and the way the rest of their team is constructed.
And you know what? I'm not even with Trey Hendrickson, I'm not convinced that they're the favorite for their division this year.
No.
I think they lost a lot of players that they're going to have to replace, and they were already they barely won their division, or they didn't win their division. They lost their division to the Steelers, right? Like they didn't even win it last year, and that was with John Harbaugh and all these players. So it's like I'm thinking they could be a 6-win team, dude.
Hey,
7 wins.
Get on the phone, Pittsburgh. Call the Raiders up. Make a trade for Max. Put Watt and Max on the same team.
At this point, I don't want to trade Max. I never wanted to trade him to begin with. You guys you heard me say this for a long time.
I'm just like, hey,
keep Max, dude.
But like, look, if the Raiders can get the same money or value out of the Steelers, and let's say this does muck up their plans offensively because maybe they're going to get a bunch of offensive linemen or something, and they just say, hey, we really need to move on for Max. Like, if I'm the Steelers, I'm calling them up and I'm saying, hey, you want to go with the Watt brother? And we'll just let the two of you wreck on Baltimore twice a year. I mean, and that's if you want to be petty and do all these other things. But I mean, seriously, I'm just wondering, is the NFL going to step in here? Is there going to be, an awarding of the pick to the Raiders for this bullshit? I mean,
I don't think so. I think even if the NFL was to intervene in some way, they have to do an investigation. That investigation is going to take longer than it's going to take to get to the draft from this point.
Really.
But that's what I was just going to say. Like, is it worthy of investigating? At least, in my opinion, absolutely, it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just the wheels of the NFL move slowly sometimes. But then again, to Ken's point, sometimes they move really fucking fast.
I mean, look, this one's really quick because they have to do it quick. I mean, it's like get a doctor out to look at Max, look at the medical records that were divulged beforehand, look at the supposed new medical records that Baltimore came up with all of a sudden, and compare. And you can do that within 72 hours. And we don't need 72 hours because we got the entire month of April to still go and half of March. And you know what?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else in the league outside of Baltimore would cry if Baltimore got stripped of the number 15 pick this year and was awarded to the Raiders.
Yeah, and to me, that's the key, like you said, Ken. Like, if it can be proven, which shouldn't be that difficult to prove, that Baltimore had documentation, had the knowledge that Crosby's knee was an issue. If they already knew that, then yeah, they might lose.
So, I mean,
perfect working in tandem, buddy.
Yes, I knew you were going to do that, so I did the other. And what makes it worse is that makes it even look more like collusion or otherwise is not within the same news cycle. You go ahead. I mean, they didn't even wait 24 hours. It wasn't even 12 hours. They
Mhm.
agree to terms with another player at the same position for blockbuster money. So I mean, it's a bad look all
And
around.
there's another element to that. In the Ravens PR spin, they made sure to include that the one of the doctors that was part of the panel that examined Max Crosby was the Cowboys doctor, Dr. Cooper, and now the Cowboys are out on Max Crosby as well. So that looks like collusion to me. Like,
Whoever I was gonna say, I've been hearing all over that the Cowboys are heavily interested in him
no,
still.
I I've been, according to, and take it for what it's worth, but according to, I think it's Diana Rossini, there's a couple of them that said that the Cowboys are out because of the prognosis that Dr. Cooper, who he's not their team doctor, but he might be their team doctor, but he's like gets hired by other teams sometimes for things like that. His report heavily influenced Baltimore to not take Max. And that the thing is that it's not about necessarily that they found something worse with Max's knee, but that basically they're looking at there's a score. Diana Rossini, I believe, was the one who brought this out.
Hey, real quick, ding, 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 ding. We have a Shefty tweet. This happened about 10 minutes ago. The Colts and quarterback Daniel Jones have reached an agreement today on a 2-year contract worth $88 million. That can be worth up to $100 million. How much of that is guaranteed has not been disclosed yet, but a 2-year, $88 million deal that could be worth up to $100 million for Danny Dimes, aka Indiana Jones. Go ahead, Joe.
So when teams make trades like this, and then they have their doctors come in, there's a score that they use, right? And it's a risk reward score. And so if Max, even Schefter said this on ESPN last night. He said if the compensation for Max Crosby was a 7th rounder, he would have easily passed the physical. But it's the fact that it's 2 first rounders, it changes the score and it makes the risk unacceptable to the Ravens. In their opinion, the risk was unacceptable, which sounds to me like cold feet. It kind of sounds the same thing. Like, you knew what the injury was before you made the trade. You made the trade. Then when your doctors said, oh, you know what? Like, he's injured.
Now, what I wonder here, since we're speaking of collusion and all that, what would any of you guys really put it past Jerry Jones to get into his doctor's ear there and say, hey, if you help give that favorable outcome for us, you might be getting a little extra compensation here.
So here's what this is Shefty reporting. This is from Max's surgeon. Max is doing very well in the early part of his rehab and recovery from surgery and treat significant meniscus tear and related stress injury to the bone and cartilage in his knee. He is certainly on track in his planned program. He feels very well and is already much improved compared to before surgery. They're saying he's going to be good to go. We truly respect the work of the Ravens staff with Max regarding the contract physical exam. We also understand the challenge the staff faces when tasked to provide a future risk assessment based on the evaluation early in recovery process. This is especially challenging when dealing with an elite player like Max, considering the level of commitment necessary for a team to obtain him. The timing of this assessment is unfortunate because the apparent risk will lessen as his recovery progresses and his return to performance over the next few months becomes clear. At this point, Max is doing an excellent job of attacking his rehab, and his knee is responding very well. We look forward to Max returning to his elite level performance this season as planned and for several more to come. Dude, they knew this coming in.
Yeah, this still sounds like a bunch of fucking spin to me.
But they all knew this coming in. What makes it even worse is not only do they cancel the trade, but within 8 hours, all of a sudden Trey Hendrickson has got a deal. And I'm sorry, they did not let's say cancel his deal at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. last night, and then within 8 hours, work out all the fine details of a contract and everything else that needed to be happening. and then say, "Hey, we've got a deal." No,
Es-
there was
especially
work done before this.
especially with wanting between 30 and 40 million a year. You got him to come off of it. Now, granted, it was only by a couple of million, but that took some negotiation there. Oh. I wouldn't go that far, Dorn.
So I mean, the Ravens, look, God,
Put that moonshine down, Dorn.
I mean, let's talk about some shenanigans going on. I mean, there should be an investigation of some sort from the NFL. I think enough people around the league are calling bullshit and collusion on this that they have to. The NFL has to respond. In fact, the NFL has two things to respond on now. They like the NFL just can't help itself. After the debacle that was this year's Super Bowl, and look, the Super Bowl was not great this year. The game wasn't great. The halftime show took away from the game by creating more controversy than it needed to. And they're still trying to get out of that. And then before they even start the new year, you've got the Rooney Rule no longer exists in terms of Ian Cunningham. I guess he's not black, and he doesn't follow the rule because they hired a white president of football operations in Atlanta, I guess. And now you can this deal with the Raiders and the Ravens. Bad looks for the NFL. They got some things to look for. I mean, dude, people were already and the score said it good. They said if the NFL had given the Bears a 3 compensation picks, no one in the NFL would have batted an eyelash. They all would have been like, "Yeah, okay, makes sense." They gave up their assistant GM to become a GM. It fits the rule. But instead, they tried to walk around and say, well, because, Matty Ice is the president of football operations now, you don't get the pick. Well, the guy is still the GM. And then they turn around and you get this Ravens-Raiders debacle. And if the NFL does nothing, people are like, what the hell's going on with the NFL? Is this like we only follow the rules when it's convenient, politically convenient for us or otherwise? The NFL it's already having issues. And
yeah, I mean, the NFL.
Go ahead, Broski.
The NFL said they're not giving the Bears a pick, a compensatory pick, because Cunningham is not the primary football executive for the Falcons. Well, last time I checked, every single freaking organization in the league has a team president and a GM. Can't think of one that doesn't. So if you're going to award comp picks for other GMs of that have melanated skin, who are hired, then why wouldn't you do it here? It just looks like they're picking and choosing right now.
Yeah. And honestly, like, as much as I think the Max Crosby deal should warrant an investigation, I don't have my hopes up about it.
Dorn, to your point about Joey Bosa still being out there, thank you for bringing that up. Other piece of news that kind of slid in quietly amongst all this mess is a certain quarterback in the town of Buffalo just restructured his deal to free up cap space. Maybe Bosa goes nowhere.
I was going to say, I honestly think it'd be good for Bosa to stay there with Buffalo. They don't have any other pass rusher besides Ed Oliver there with him that's worth a whole lot. Now, I know you got Esperanza in that, but I don't have too much faith in that guy.
And no Bears fans, they're not going to make a play for Bosa.
No,
I got to say it, Ken, because look, they're already talking about how we're going to trade for Max Crosby, and there's just no cap space. Even if you restructure, you have to be able to trade away Dio in any situation to get Max.
Dude, I would love to take a snapshot of some of these Facebook groups just over the past week, because you had people going from Max Crosby's the greatest thing ever. We're absolutely getting him. Holy shit, Max Crosby sucks. It's great that we didn't get him. Now we're going to go and get him because Max Crosby's fucking great. Which one is it? You're giving me fucking whiplash here.
It's whatever's convenient for the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the same thing I bitch about with Packers fans when it comes to Quay Walker too.
You know what's funny though? With all this stuff that's going on, you can tell which teams were not affected by this Max Crosby. The Bears obviously were not affected by this Max Crosby deal whatsoever. They did what they did, and everything they did. I think Broski and I can both sit and go, yeah, okay, we understand that. They filled multiple needs and then do the Crosby deal. They were never going to do the Crosby deal. San Francisco was never going to do it. Tampa was never going to do it. So there are more than a few teams out there who are just like sitting there going, hey, can you top off my coffee? This is entertaining. I mean, there are a couple teams. Now, there are some other teams, though, who were definitely deeply affected by the way they spent money by this. There has to be something. But
I think that could warrant an investigation by the NFL. I don't think the NFL is going to take up any investigation on behalf of the Raiders. Like, they haven't shown me that they're that fair. But the other teams that were affected, teams that went and spent their free agency money because Max was already off the market, like, they could make an argument if more teams were willing to make a stink about it and be like, dude, Baltimore played these stupid games. We were in the market for Max Crosby. Like, if they hadn't done this, there's a good chance we'd have Max on our team. Then the NFL might take up an investigation.
One thing I can never explain or justify under any circumstance is what the Panthers did with their signing of Jalen Phillips for 4 years, $120 million. He has a total of 6 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Yeah, a little bit of an overpayment there.
Just about the sack total, might be about the other things he does, where he creates opportunities for other players to get sacked. Right, so like, how is Jalen Carter without him on the line with him now? I mean,
for an average of $30 million a year, though, you better be getting to the QB.
No, but they fall into the argument of what Joe is saying. They overpaid because now you had to overpay because Max was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that to me, I don't know if I could really correlate that directly to Max being signed. I can correlate that to just being a retarded signing.
Hey, but broski, if I was the Panthers, it's not too late. I would be like, hey, the only reason we signed this bum over here for $120 million is because Max was off the market. So, I would jump on that.
Jump on it.
I mean, he's not a bum. I'm not going to say he's a bum, but like he's not worth $30 million a year, dude. Okay, that's crazy numbers.
You gotta love some of these guys are in the comments. Mitch, we've been over this like I don't know how many times this year.
We at least did 11 shows in a row on it.
Yeah, Bros, if the Bears move to Hammond, are you going to not be a Bears fan anymore?
I mean, I think I'll like the Bears even more if they move to Hammond, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to say this. So Mitch, I got reintroduced to Mitch over the weekend in a chat somewhere. Haven't heard from Mitch in months. So Mitch, glad you're back. But Mitch came out swinging, man. He was just talking shit.
Mitch had some health issues there.
Mitch trying to make up for lost time, I guess.
Hey, shout out Mitch.
Morning, Yoli. I mean, but thank you for bringing that up, Mitch, because that has fallen to the wayside. Look, when the Illinois government decides, say, we're going to table discussing this until basically next week is when they'll start talking about it. I would have figured the Bears were like, well, hell, the deal in Indiana is done. See ya, deuces. We're not that important to you. This is how low the bar has been set for the state of Illinois for the Bears, right? They've set the bar so low. They're like, look, we got a done deal that's really sweet over here in Indiana. All you got to do is give us the infrastructure and the tax number that we talked about, like pay no more than $9 million a year, right? Kind of like SoFi. And we're staying in Illinois, even with your crappy taxes and everything. And they didn't bolt already when Hammond's already, that deal is sweet. So, I mean, the Bears set a pretty low bar. But if we get to I hope this is done before the draft for the Bears, right? So they can break ground and get going on building this stadium. But the bar has been set so low for the state of Illinois. If the Bears end up in Hammond, Indiana, that should just tell every person on the planet, you don't move to Illinois. And if you live in Illinois, get the hell out. Because the bar was set so low. And Illinois can't make that. Oof. What does that tell you about the state and the way it's run? So, yeah, it doesn't matter. They're still better than you, Dorn, but that's okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's enough craziness in the NFL, and then the Ravens go have a Florida man hold my beer moment.
Yeah, and Mitch, I'm relatively with you. The only place that the Green Bay Packers moving to that wouldn't royally piss me off was if they moved from Green Bay to Syracuse, and that's for purely selfish reasons. Other than that, I'm with you on it.
Like, and look at
Well-
the Lions. If the Lions moved from Detroit proper out to the burbs, no big deal. The only thing that's different with the Bears is, in fact, you know what's funny? The Hammond, Indiana site is actually closer to Soldier Field than the Arlington Heights site. They're still in the metropolitan area, so it's not like the Bears would be moving to Boise or to Iowa.
Well,
You know?
they'd still be called the Chicago Bears. Like if
Yeah,
if
you're-
Detroit Lions moved to freaking Oklahoma
Right.
City, and they had a different name, they're a different organization. I get it. I wouldn't follow them anymore either.
That'd
Like
be totally different, but they're staying
Yeah.
within the metropolitan area. I mean, you can still see the city skyline from the proposed stadium site. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, but like, you know, if the Lions moved to Kalamazoo, that would be different, right? Kalamazoo is a couple hours away. That would be different. They'd stay in the state, it'd be different. But you're talking, if you were still within the city limits or the metropolitan area, do you think Chiefs fans aren't going to be Chiefs fans because they're moving across the border into Kansas from Missouri? No, they're still going to be Chiefs fans. You know, are Giants fans not Giants fans because they play in East Rutherford, New Jersey? No, they're still New York Giants fans. You know, are Niners fans no longer Niners fans because they don't play in San Fran anymore? They play in Santa Clara? Nope, they show up. They're still Niners fans. So, you know.
And they're still dick eaters
They were in
too.
Pontiac forever. Thank you, Fred. The Lions were in Pontiac forever in the dome until they moved to Ford Field. So yeah, but see, Fred, a lot of people, some folks, and I know Motown Mitch isn't one of them because he's older. But some of these younger fans, for some reason, if it's not within the last 5 to 10 years, they don't remember it. So
We're not talking about the Lions moving. We're just offering a hypothetical.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and Jim, this was based off another comment saying, well, if the Lions moved out of Detroit, I wouldn't be a fan anymore. Well, I guess they weren't a fan when they were in Pontiac.
So Tom Pelissero just dropped a tweet that says, unfortunately for the Raiders and the NFL, there really is no recourse for this because when trades are made, it's contingent upon passing a physical, and the physical is at the team's discretion. So pretty much no investigation,
Yeah,
which I kind of expected.
I mean, okay, fine, asterisk, because like they can still look at the medical record and say, and if they determine that it was complete utter bullshit, then they can still do something. I get that at discretion, but they could say, look, if this was disclosed, if it comes out everything you're complaining about was disclosed before the trade, and you just wanted to drop the trade and sign Trey Hendrickson. I don't know, man. They still might go after him on a collusion aspect of it, and might do something. But I get that, Joe. But I think there's enough smoke here where they.
Yeah, I'm not saying Tom Pelissero is the end all be all. I'm just telling you what he said, and you know he's not always right, but he's one of like. He's a step below Schefter in that, like when he says something generally, you know, he knows what he's talking about. His sources are somewhat connected.
And to sum it up, it's one of those things. It could be considered immoral by most, but not illegal. So I mean, you have to be able to prove.
Dorn, I would have loved to have known what you posted, but links don't work in comment section.
All right, hey, so the breakdown of Indiana Jones's contract per Shefty. $88 million base, $50 million fully guaranteed at signing, $60 million guaranteed for injury, max value of $100 million, make it the largest 2-year contract in NFL history. Way to go, Danny Doc.
Man, that man has got himself a couple of fucking contracts, and each one of them was based off of 1 year of being competent.
Ooh, is he the next Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, he might be. Shit, with the way he's rolling. He at least so far in his career, he's been a less talented version of Kirk Cousins.
Bro, he's the Rumpelstiltskin of the NFL. Like, I've never seen somebody take mediocre talent and spin it into gold like that, dude. Like,
Jalen
real
Phillips.
quick.
Spinning it into hundreds of millions of dollars. Like,
Real quick, the Bears also are signing defensive back Cam Lewis and defensive end Contavia Street. They look like mostly like backup roles for those guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that those names don't ring a bell. Right.
I've
Yeah,
heard of
that
Contavia Street before.
I saw Cam and I was like, "Who did we get?" No, Cam Lewis.
Oh, we got Cam Jordan, son of a bitch. That's
Yeah.
not his last name.
Like, damn it, wrong Cam. Like if they got Cam Jordan on a sweet deal, cool. Otherwise, really like looking. Oh, and of course we got the Josh Allen restructuring, creating $12 million in cap. Oh, they're talking about adding more games to the NFL. They're talking about a game now on Thanksgiving Eve, possibly.
Now we're gonna have fucking Wednesday night games too. Are you
Yeah, they're
fucking
talking about the
kidding me right now?
playing a game on Thanksgiving Eve as early as this season per Adam Schefter. So that means for Thanksgiving week, you would have a full college football on Saturday, full NFL Sunday, Monday Night Football, MAC action on Tuesday, NFL on Wednesday, 3 NFL on Thursday, Black Friday game plus college football rivalry week on Friday, CF college football rivalry week on Saturday, and then you'd go. So you had 7 days of football or 8 days of football.
I'm not complaining.
I mean, for fans, like cool, but a Wednesday game, ooh, I don't know about that. That's something we can talk about later as talks go. I just wanted to throw that is being talked about. I'm just trying to make sure in the little bit of time we have left, if there are any other signs we haven't missed.
You like how you had the players sitting there bitching about the Thursday night games there, and how adding that in messes with their health and so much of that. And the NFL listened real closely. They said, "Okay, we'll add a Wednesday night game."
The Minnesota Vikings added defensive back Tavari Thomas on a 2-year deal worth $4.6 million. That's more of a backup guy. So that happened. But otherwise, everything's been dominated by this Max Crosby, Trey Henderson.
And speaking of the Vikings, Smurf Murray, aka Keebler Murray, is visiting Minnesota today. So we might hear about them signing with the Vikings today.
No, JB posted the picture of him at the airport yesterday. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
All 2 foot of them.
It's something that kind of slid under the radar too, because of all this Max Crosby talk. Tariq Woolen signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles. Like, that team just keeps getting fucking better, man. Like, I mean, they lost Nakobe Dean, but they had a replacement already, so they're like,
dude. If you guys have seen the creator Ben Likes Sports, he did a skit on it, and it's absolutely hilarious. It's how he's sitting there talking with Nick Sirianni, and Nick's freaking all out and all that, and he says, "Oh, you know, I need a corner and all this and that." He goes, "All right," and snaps his fingers, and it's fucking done.
By the way, yeah, Jack Wagon. The Steelers agreed to terms on a 1-year extension for Cam Hayward for $32.25 million with $16.25 fully guaranteed. That happened. Free agent tight end Grant Galactera is returning to the Eagles on a 1-year deal. The Tennessee Titans signed former 49ers defensive tackle Jordan Elliott a 2-year, $8 million deal worth up to $8.5 million. That happened. There was one other.
There you go, Mitch. I can agree with you there.
Elton Jenkins left the Packers and went to the Browns. That's a more offensive line.
Well, we cut him, so.
Which I was surprised. I thought Jenkins was actually pretty good, man.
Jenkins was awesome as a left guard. We played him out of position at center, and that was the issue.
This is the name that Bears fans will know. The Browns re-signed Tevin Jenkins, who played all 17 games last season. They re-signed him, terms of deal not disclosed. And this one, though, kind of sad for me, especially when you see the price he went for. The Jets signed former Bears cornerback Nashawn Wright to a 1-year contract, and it's only worth $5 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bad move by the Jets. And they traded for Geno. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about the Geno trade yesterday. And basically the deal with that was the Raiders ate the entire contract, so the Jets only have to pay the league minimum, and they just did a 6th, 7th round swap, so no biggie. But because then it's funny that they did that because someone said, well, you can't do a trade where you eat all the contract. Well, the Raiders just did that.
Well, they ate
Geno Smith.
most of it.
They ate all of it except for 1.5 mil. Which
That's
is the
not.
league vet-
I was going
league
to say
vet-
that's not all of it. Then that's most of it.
No, but they ate all of it. But look at the Jets were going to have to pay if the Raiders had cut him, right? The Jets still would have only paid 1.5 mil. Instead, they traded for him and are still paying only 1.5 mil. Is Nahshon Wright any good? Well, yeah, he was tied for league lead in interceptions last year. Now, look, that was one good year, right? He broke out last year. The question is going to be, I think that's why he's a $5 million deal and not a $10 or $15 million deal because Nahshon Wright has 1 year of service where he had this really good year. But $5 million, you know what? Consider what some of these backups go for. That's not a bad deal for the Jets to get Nahshon Moore for the year he just had.
Yeah,
$5
and
million
Steve, we got Sky Moore and all that, but to me, he kind of feels like a Sammy Watkins retread of, hey, we're going to take a flyer on this bottom of the barrel guy. If he happens to work out, awesome. If not, oh well.
Yeah, and so some other things that have been happening that kind of, because of this Max Crosby debacle. But I think the biggest winner in this are the Raiders. In a weird way, the Raiders kind of just win. Because no one was really scared of what the Raiders were doing defensively. Like, okay, yeah, they're going to be better. And they might be a 6-win team. Now you look at the Raiders and go, hell, if Max is healthy with the defense, Max probably gives them another game or two. And they still can add more offensive line help. Now the Raiders could go from a 3-win to a 10-win team like that. You want to talk about fast rebuild. Because they don't need spectacular play out of their rookie quarterback. They really don't. They can have average rookie quarterback play and be a 10-win team.
I really would like to see Max come out and make a statement after all of this. Like, you just did your tearful goodbye to the Raiders.
He did last night on Instagram. Did you see the picture he posted with his feet propped up on the plane chilling?
Yeah, but that's not a statement.
Like, whatever.
I want to see him come out and I'm curious what's going through his mind right now. Like, if you love the organization as much as you say you did, now's your chance to prove it, dude. Because the organization tried to do right by you. They tried to give you what you wanted, a chance to go chase a ring. Baltimore fucked you, not us. Mm-hmm. So, do you really love the Raiders? Because now it's like you come back, it's like, hey, meet Nakobe and meet Quay. Like, these are your new linebackers, man. Like, meet your new corners. Like,
I think he stays in Vegas now. I really think he stays in Vegas. And that defense is, man, that's going to be a defense. The AFC West is going to be interesting, and the Raiders still have money and draft picks. Yeah. This hurts the Raiders more in the long-term process of the rebuild. It definitely tourniquets the rebuild some. And now, you're going to run into this could affect them more 2-3 years down the road than it is today, right? When they got to pay some other people if Max money is still tied up. But, I mean, it's a small adjustment because it's so far out. It's a minor adjustment for them. And I think now Max just stays and their rebuild just got kind of like a jump start. Because you're getting ready for life without Max. Now you've got Max. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, they're not sniffing a ring anytime soon. On that last terrible take by the Jackwagon, the Jag-off himself, the Mad Yinzer. We'll have to say, hey guys, don't forget the MMA shows at 2 p.m. Central today, correct?
Yes.
Both of you? Okay. Tomorrow will just be Ken won't be here. He's got to go do that physical training that you can tell he does so much of.
Oh yeah.
And we will have some more news probably tomorrow. And don't forget, we got JB's on next. We got the roundtable with JB tonight. Yeah, guys, enjoy this drama. The league year starts here in about 4 hours. So let's see what kind of craziness we get 4 hours from now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.